Rural Americans deserve access to the best of what our nation has to offer, especially health care. Across every state and every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families healthy. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.
Excuse me! Taxi! What are you doing?
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
And joining us now, John, here on Katz and Cosby, what a great way to start, is the border czar, Tom Homan. And Tom, we're so happy to have you here. This is Rita, of course, with John, Judge Weinberg, also Ed Cox, and Governor David Patterson. So happy to have you join us. Give us an update on everything, because you've really taken over Minneapolis. I know you've left there, but you guys have had enormous success, Tom.
Tom Homan is responsible for bringing common sense back to Minneapolis.
And America, right, John?
Yes.
Well, look, Minneapolis and the state of Minnesota is a lot less of a sanctuary state now, because our ICE officers have access to the vast majority of jails in that state where we didn't have access before. Working great with a great prison, the state prison system. We got local law enforcement responding to the agitators who break the law, and they weren't responding before. So cops are doing the cops' job, and I'm grateful for that. And it's safer for the agents, safer for the community, of course. And when we arrest the public safety threat and the safety and security of jail, and that's where we're at. So I think it's a huge win for President Trump. On top of the 4,000 aliens we arrested, we got to remember over 3,300 children, missing children, were also found by ICE. So it's a win for Trump, and we just keep winning.
Tom Homan, John Katsimatidis, any closer to finding out some of these demonstrators that were in Minneapolis, who's paying them?
That's where the Department of Justice and the FBI. I know they're doing a deep dive into that, and they're following the money. So they'll be brought to justice. But when you do a financial investigation, it's just it's a difficult type of investigation. But they'll get to the bottom of it. I have faith, and they'll be brought to justice.
And Tom, one of the things that it's been amazing to see some of the rhetoric that's been coming from people like Ilhan Omar, Pramila Jayapal in the last 24 hours saying there should be no DHS, no ICE. What do you say to these folks? I mean, what would America look like if we didn't have you guys?
Well, I'm sure she wishes there was no ICE. I'm sure she wishes that. But bottom line is, you're not going to abolish the Department of Homeland Security, which was created after what happened in this great city I'm driving through right now. Look, that's politics, but you know what? She wants to abolish the agency that is responsible for enforcing the laws that Congress enacted, which she's a part of. And let's remember, why are we in a situation where we are right now, where thousands of ICE agents are on the streets of America? Why? Because her and the rest of the Democratic Party put their head in the sand with the last 4 years of open border. They ignored it. They didn't push back on the Biden administration saying, the border secure. Man, every day, the border secure, the border secure, the border secure. President Biden, Kamala Harris, the entire administration put their head in the sand and hid from the American people the truth about the border. And now we're responding to that, and we're going to keep President Trump's promise of mass deportation, make this country safe again.
Judge Weinberg.
Tom, good to talk to you again. I want to bring to your attention, I'm sure you're aware of this, our newly elected mayor has just appointed a czarina to enforce sanctuary city policies of the city of New York as imposed by this mayor. saying that he's going to make sure that all of the city employees comply with his edicts on sanctuary cities. How are you going to respond to that?
Well, we'll see him in court. You know, a sanctuary city is a sanctuary for criminals. We just learned in Minnesota that the smart thing to do is let us in your jails because it makes the city of New York safer, makes the state of New York safer. It's safer for the community, it's safer for the agents, and it's safer for the illegal alien we're taking in custody. So, you know, I've heard the governor here in New York say numerous times. I've seen her say it numerous times that I should be concentrating on the public safety threats and not the rest of the illegal aliens in this country. Well, you can't swear that by locking us out of jail. So you support removing public safety threats, illegal.
Oops, we're losing you there, Tom. Okay. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, the governor needs to stick up to what she's been saying. She's saying we should prioritize criminals. Well, if you mean that, then don't lock us out of the jail. That is just ridiculous.
Ed Cox?
Yeah, Tom, given the language that was being used by the governor and the mayor, how did you quiet things down so quickly? That was quite incredible. Bring them back down to now where the law enforcement people are cooperating with you.
By the way, you send Tom Homan there. That's how you do it.
Yeah, exactly. But how did you do it?
I sat down and sat across the table from him. I mean, a lot of people question, why is Homan meeting with the governor? He's the enemy. Why are we meeting with the mayor? He's the enemy. Well, look, we can't solve problems speaking in a vacuum, in an echo chamber, right? We got to talk to the people who disagree with us. And we always sit down, and I explain to them, I just explain to you. If you want safer streets, then stop releasing public safety threats back into the street. And, I had a good conversation with the Attorney General because he agreed, even though they have laws that they can't honor detainers, there's nothing illegal about a jail calling us before they release the illegal alien criminal. Don't hold them a minute past you would normally hold them. Just give us a call in advance. And because of the great cooperation we got with these jails, we have, strategically placed agents around the state to be able to respond to those calls. So, I think it was common sense. But, again, you can't fix problems if you don't speak to the other side, and that's what I did.
Absolutely. And, Tom, I know you just have about a minute or so left. Governor Patterson.
Tom, when you went to Minnesota and met with those officials, and right after you went there, seemingly within days, it changed the whole dynamic. You got the people out of the prisons that you needed. They got the right to go ahead and protest, without being violent and that sort of thing. Now it looks like you can really pick where you want to go next. Is there anything on your agenda that we might be hearing about shortly?
Every sanctuary city, I've said it from the beginning of the administration, we have to flood the zone in sanctuary cities because we know that's where the problem is. And we know they're releasing public safety threats back in the community. So I'll be going around sanctuary cities, hopefully meeting with people and let's do the right thing here. Let's keep your community safe. More agents in the jail means less agents in the street. Just work with us.
Well, Tom Homan, we are so grateful that you joined us. Thank you so much. I hope you're enjoying the visit to New York City. We always love having you here. We feel safer just knowing you're in town.
Thank you very much.
Tom, thank you very much.
Thank you, Tom.
Thanks, Randy.
Thank you so much.
Rural Americans deserve access to the best of what our country has to offer, especially health care. Across every state, every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families healthy. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.